So I'm going to get you to work out what I do by how I've presented the information to you. What I try to do is break down the number of slides I've got, how many are focused on me and how many are focused on my heroes. Okay, I was born in '66 in Tripoli, in North Lebanon, and to a Lebanese father and Lebanese mother. My mother was raised on a farm. My dad went to Emmanuel College in Cambridge University, and my grandfather and my entire family are sort of infiltrated with masonry and being lecturers at universities. I've ended up with neither of those, and I was refused entry to the Masons, which is why I'm here, because
we've got a better handshake.
Well, I'm just being honest, because atheism is not allowed inside the Masons, whereas you seem to be more tolerant. My dad decided that Lebanon was sliding into civil war, so he took us to Australia and we settled in Sydney, which was a great move from him. He picked the wrong year. I still can't swim, and that's because 2 or 3 months after we arrived, Harold Holt, the Prime Minister, drowned in a beach in Victoria, and my dad decided there would be no swimming in Australia. Fast forward 25 years, I met my Kiwi wife in Sydney, where else? And 2 years later we got married in Featherston, in Fernside, a home that you might know of. And then in 2003 we decided to move back from Australia and the UK and live in New Zealand, where I have been for the last 10 years. There you go. I've got likes and dislikes like everybody else. I've worked out when I was putting this, I've got more dislikes than likes. However, I'm a big fan of heroes, and I'd like you to maybe reconsider when's the last time you looked at or read or saw something or admired something that one of your heroes created, and I'd recommend that you never lose that. I think heroes are very important, so I'd like to spend the rest of the presentation, if you don't mind, on my heroes. So there's a sample of my heroes, and you'll see some faces that you'll recognise, but there are some which aren't. Pearl S. Buck is a wonderful novelist and translator of Chinese literature. Lou Costello from Abbott Costello, Duke of Wellington, that's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, D.H. Lawrence, J.D. Salinger, Joseph Heller. I think the rest are pretty straightforward. It means I'm a very busy boy, I can tell you right now. These are some of my fictional heroes, and these are people I relate to or I wished I was. So you've got there Eucerian from you've got Winston Smith from 1984, the novel, Toad from Toad Hall, I love, adore, and Eucerian from Catch-22. But these are probably my 5 top heroes. So these are the 5 most influential people that I look to now these days. I love George Orwell because he gives you great insights into how government and authority works. And Charles Darwin, I think, what a wonderful man he must have been to challenge the orthodoxy at the time. That was a phenomenal thing that he did. George Harrison's always inspired me with his music and his lyrics. One of my favourite lines of his is, the further one travels, the less one knows, and that's always sort of rang true to me. And Andy Partridge, very obscure to most of you, but XTC, great singer-songwriter. But the Queen is probably my ultimate. She's the only politician that's never let me down. And I sleep very well at night knowing that the armed forces and the police swear allegiance to a non-political, apolitical figure, and for that reason I will never support the Republican movement. I've done some analysis of my heroes and I've worked out that I'm into dead Brits. The influence of heroes as I've grown older, some have tapered off. I've worked out that I'm no longer a possible replacement James Bond, so my interest and influence from James Bond has dropped off, whereas George Orwell continues to fascinate me and interest me. I'd recommend that you read some of his books, they're wonderful. And whenever I need to relax, it's Shakespeare and George Harrison that does it for me. But ultimately, my greatest heroes are my 3 kids and my Kiwi wife, Rachel. And I just thought I'd quickly share with you what I do, because I was sitting next to Helen on the bus just recently, and what Helen thought I did was very different to what I do, so I thought it might be useful to clear it up. I'm a consultant, a pragmatic one, that's what they all say, and I'm into project management, program management, which is about delivering new products or services or doing some transformations. But my favourite activity is working with the C-level people in organisations and helping them prioritise their investments to make sure they know which projects they should be doing, which best help them get to their strategy or their objectives. And today's day 4 of my new venture, so if you know of any opportunities, whatever, let me know. Thank you very much.